Welcome everybody to another episode of the Coach's Corner featuring your favorite cast, Shane, Atelephobia, and myself, Righteous. We're going to be going over patch notes once again. It's already been 2 weeks. Feels like time's flying by.
Because we're old, Righteous.
Yeah, it's because we are old. Couple things to note. This is the MSI patch, so typically before internationals, you'll see a bunch of nerfs and buffs just to shake up the meta, as well as this is the patch that Locke is going to be released. So we got a lot to cover and not a lot of time to cover. So we're going to go flying through these just because we got stuff to do today.
Heck yeah.
Shay and Telephobia, before we jump in, how are you all doing? Anything
Dude,
you want to talk about before we go?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to play some lock top.
Okay.
Some top lock.
Top
Gonna
lock.
keep top on lock. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I am honestly excited to play Olaf jungle.
You said
Okay.
Olaf?
Yes, Olaf.
You disgust me.
All right. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Locke, I believe, is right off the bat.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen
Handsome.
his, he's pretty cool looking. I like the blue. The blue hasn't been used in League. I think that's why he's so standout-ish. If you haven't seen his champ spotlight, definitely go ahead and check that out. Basically, they've what it feels like is combined like parts of Vayne's kit, parts of Echo's kit, and Tom Kench and stuff. But we'll break it down really quickly. So his passive Silver Stake, Locke's attacks deal additional magic damage on hit, increased based on enemy missing health. So he isn't a ranged champion, so that's good. But definitely a champ that can snowball a team fight when bleaking health bars start coming out. The Q Ritual Nails, Locke needles a set ready. Wow, needles readies a set of soul nails to throw, dealing damage to a marking enemy's hit. Locke can consume the marks to deal bonus damage with his attacks. Those Qs will slow, so he could close the gap, especially when combined with his W Soul Ignition. Locke ignites his soul, gaining attack speed and move speed, and dealing damage to himself. At the end of the duration, Locke will heal back a portion of the damage he takes during the effect. Former pro player Medio said that this is going to be the most annoying part of his kit, and a lot of people are going to have complaints upon release, just because it seems like he's going to heal a whole bunch, but it doesn't really show you how much damage he actually is dealing to himself. So people are going to be like, oh, he should have died, and now he has a full health bar. It'll be definitely a learning curve to go experience. E Ashen Pursuit, Locke teleports to a location before dashing to his next target. There's that echo part, just kind of backwards. Dealing damage to enemies passed through, and then his R, Purgatory. Locke throws a binding artifact that deals damage and potentially executes enemies hit. Locke gains additional power for sealing away enemy champions, and then of course the champion spotlight is there.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool kit. Really cool design as well. Definitely another E-boy design that Riot really loves. But
Yep. 100%.
Atele, Shane, anything you want to say about this champion? We haven't seen it in action yet, but you could definitely talk about his kit.
I think that's interesting to me. Is there aren't many champions that have no slowing abilities, no CC, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Locke is one of those.
No, he does slow. He slows on Q.
He slows on Q.
Does he? Oh, does
He
he?
slows on Q, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Okay, if he
a,
slows on Q, then never mind. I didn't see it.
yeah,
And
it
his
doesn't
R
show on here, but it's a
Okay.
ramping slow. So you get 3 Qs, and if you can hit all
Alright.
3, they go pretty slow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
His E
Okay.
also resets on kills and takedowns, and his R, you can pick up the little golem that he drops to reduce the cooldown. And it stays for like a really long time. Like if you throw it and die and then come back, you could still pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
What's gonna be interesting too is the R. You have to pick it up to get the additional scaling power.
Yeah.
If you don't pick it up, it's just lost. So
I could see assassins camping that because people are gonna be so greedy to pick up the little.
yeah. So it's definitely weird. Like there's a lot going on in his kit, but it's a pretty simple design. Like I said, his W is probably gonna be the highest pain point. Silver Stake. I feel like if you get in matchups where Locke is gonna be favored, it's gonna feel unplayable. just because he could do quick trades with you, heal back any damage he took with his W, and then look to do it again when he gets his cooldowns back.
He's a very solo win the game or solo lose the game kind of champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like he'll be useless from behind.
We move on to some champions we're more familiar with. So Philios getting his pro play, I believe, buff. Yep.
Pro play
So
buffs.
his passive to his green gun, Calibrum, is getting a 5% bonus AD bump. His Severum Q damage is getting 1 damage per total
1%.
attack damage per attack on all levels. His Infernum Q is getting a 5% buff at all levels for his bonus AD, and then his Crescendum, he's getting, I believe, more of the same, where he gets
4%.
Yeah, 4%. So, I mean, a lot of buffs. I think the Calibrum one is interesting, just because that, like, so Calibrum and Severum, of course, are the 2 guns that you start off with. Just giving them a little bit more early power with that 5% bonus ADD as opposed to just the 10. But reality is he really wants to scale the mid to late, and I think this allows his kit to keep up with some of the better scaling marksmen right now.
Yeah, that 1% AD damage on Severum, bro. That's gonna be a game changer.
It's total AD versus bonus AD, and it's per attack. So there's like multiple attacks every ability cast.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's actually a bigger buff than it looks, but like all those buffs are like just to make him feel a bit better, maybe increase win rate by 1%.
Yeah, that Infernum damage looks crazy though, I can't lie.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the team fighting one, right? You ult and then it just explodes everywhere. Dude, that's gonna do more damage. Maybe the Aphelios one-shot's gonna come back.
Maybe. I was listening to Crowny, former Los Ratones bot laner. He said that he really doesn't think that these are going to put him over the hump to get back into pro play, but we'll see. I know there's plenty of pro players that love playing Aphelios, and if he's somewhat viable, I'm sure they'll try to make him work. But yeah, I just think it's, you know, a little bit of an early game buff, but really that mid to late is when you're going to start feeling it. So if you can get there as an ADC in solo queue, then hey, more power to you. If you can't, then that's another story. Bard getting a nerf finally. So damage per meep is down 5, and then he also only gets +6 damage per 5 chimes as opposed to +10, while keeping his AP ratio the same. I mean, it says right here, right? We're trimming his damage to tank Bard doesn't get to hit nearly as hard without investing in AP. I don't think I think this will accomplish what it sets out to do, right? You can't build Bard with, like, you know, Knight's Vow, Dead Man's, and go around like half healthing carries right now, as you can right now. But if you want to go AP, that is still a viable option for you.
People will probably still do the same thing, but it's just you're just not gonna kill people with it.
Yeah.
It's like it's so that I can't play him when filled, basically. Like, you actually need to be a Bard player.
There you go. Yeah. Fair enough. Brand up next. Whoa. As we go back to Bard. So Brand is a champ that realistically you could play in all 5 roles right now, which is kind of insane. The only reason I think he hasn't been touched prior to this is he doesn't get a lot of pro play. But we'll have to see what these changes do. I don't think it'll boot him out of where he wants, where they don't want him anymore. So they're talking about specifically bot lane nerfs here. They're increasing the passive mana generation, so you can't the base mana generation, sorry, so you can't just spam your spells. The passive is going down 2% early levels, and then scaling to the same part, but over 18, so you don't hit that that early spike at level 17.
Also, scales above level 18, so technically a top lane Brand buff.
Oh, there you go. True. I didn't see that. Scaling above 18. Yep.
Brand top. Oh shit.
That's gonna be annoying for some Garen players, I know.
Oh man.
And then the mana cost for E is gonna be 90, which
Yeah,
was his fully leveled
that's a
cost.
huge,
Yeah,
huge nerf.
huge nerf. Because that's how you poke, right? Especially with brand APC.
Yeah. God, there's
Um,
nothing more annoying than Brand just Wing the wave, and you walk up to get some last hits, and he just eats it, and it just spreads to you, and
yeah,
you're like, this is so annoying.
yeah. Not a
So,
very fun play style.
no. So I'm glad they buffed the man on that, or nerfed it rather.
Mm-hmm. Cassiopeia. What's interesting is they buffed her super crazy. I think like 3 patches ago, 4. And has it. I mean, she's been sitting at a pretty nice spot, and all they're doing is nerfing the health per level, so making
Mm-hmm.
her a little bit susceptible to all-ins, which I feel like this is a placebo nerf. I feel like she'll be totally
Yeah.
fine, especially in a lot of the matchups she goes into, right? You see her picked a lot into like um, Rise or some of these other shorter range
So what is that? 6
mages.
health per
I was
level?
gonna say they buffed a lot of those good Cassiopeia matchups last patch, didn't they?
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I feel like the Syndra buffs. I feel like Cassiopeia would definitely struggle into a champ like Syndra, just because of
I was
her.
thinking there was a rise buff, right? I'm not misremembering.
You know what? We covered it, and it's been 2 weeks. That's a long time. I have no idea.
Yeah, true.
There was
I feel
definitely
like
a
there
Silas
was.
buff. There was definitely a Silas buff. I
Silas buff
remember
was gone
that.
Yes.
through. Yep, it was an Oriana nerf,
I think there was a
Syndra buff.
rise. Was there a
Mhm.
rise buff? I think
I don't
so. I
know.
think you're right. Also, this nerf, she's losing 108 health that total, like throughout the game.
Like
Yes.
So
max level.
yeah.
Yeah,
So like that's
Mhm.
pretty whatever, I'd say.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whatever
Oh,
nerf. Draven getting buffed,
Raven.
and I know there's a lot of Draven ADCs coming to the MSI tournament. His cooldown on E, so his self peeling ability, is down at all ranks. 2 seconds at level 1, all the way through, and then his ultimate, the damage reduction on enemy hit is -8% multiplicatively, down to
That's good, actually. Good
40%.
work.
Yep, at 11 hits. So basically, it moves down to -5%, down to a minimum of 50%.
Cool.
Which it's basically making it so, because I believe it's the first enemy you hit with ultimate does the most amount of damage, and then it
Yeah.
goes down the more
Mm-hmm.
champions you hit. So um,
Well, it says at 14 hits,
Teamfight
so
AoE, I guess.
it must be like minions as well, no?
oh, maybe, I don't know. That's
But
something that we could
it definitely
research.
comes back the first champion you hit. I know that at least.
Yeah. So look out for some Draven snipes.
Some whirling deaths.
Yeah, some whirling deaths. Kaisa getting a buff as well. Kaisa, a favorite of pro play. Do everything champ, if you will. So W cooldown is down about 2 seconds. The first 2 levels down to a second, and then half a second before full leveling. And then her ultimate shield is getting buffed by 30, basically at level 1, all the way up to 90 at max. And then I believe the AD and AP are staying the same. Yeah. So
Yeah.
a
Having
little
an
bit.
extra 100 on the shield. I mean, that's not bad. That's essentially just the nerf Cassiopeia just got.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
What's interesting is right now it's a lot of uh Kaisa AP builds, like hybrid builds. So the W cooldown is actually kind of interesting to me, only because she gets a big portion of that cooldown refunded upon hitting a champion. Um, so Kaisa's a champ that has kind of struggled with identity when these new items came out. Where before, when upon release, she was kind of like a burst ADC, like assassin almost in the bottom lane. Whereas now, a lot of the mid to late game, you're basically setting up shop around an objective and just spamming your W to try to chunk people for health.
yeah, the
Um,
W poke is crazy.
so I guess they're leaning more into that identity, or at least they're recognizing that, hey, her AP build is probably the best build she has right now, so we're just gonna give some power into that, and then some more survivability in team fights and in laning phase when you get that level 6. I don't know. What do you guys
AP
think?
Kaisa is still like an assassin. Yeah, you poke with W, but the real value of the W is you hit it on an ADC,
Hmm.
and then if they're out of position, you can just ult in and one-shot them and run away with invisibility.
Yeah, that's true.
So it definitely makes your job easier in that sense. And yeah, a bit less cooldown for early to mid game is useful. And Kaisa levels W last as well, even in AP builds, unless it's like full AP Kaisa. So it's
True.
somewhat bigger than it seems. But yeah, I don't think it's like massive buffs or anything, just making it a bit easier for Kaisa to do her job.
Yeah, I feel like the
Yeah.
ultimate one is probably gonna be felt more just because it's a greater shield at level 1. So a little
Yeah.
bit more all-in potential or self peel earlier on.
Cringe Sante.
Crimsante getting a nerf, I believe.
Heck yeah.
Shield is down you know, so 10 at level 1. What is that? Quick maths. 7.5 at level
Yep.
2, 5 at level 3, 3.5 at level or 2.5, sorry, level 4, and then stays the same max. And then you only get 13.5 bonus health
Yeah, well,
scaling
I mean,
from that.
whatever. Let's just go to the next one. I mean, whatever, man. What is this even gonna do?
I think
Uh,
basically they're trying to tap down as early while still rewarding successful all-ins. I feel like all this means is that you have to be a little bit more, careful when choosing to trade and actually utilizing that shield. I don't think
yeah, I
he's
mean,
I don't think he's out of the
it's
meta.
that feels whatever to me personally.
Yeah. LeBlanc getting a
Ugh.
buff. So they want to reward LeBlanc players for landing some of her less guaranteed damage, rather than giving her more gank or lane support, both of which she does really well already. Um,
Want
so
champs to play LeBlanc.
yeah, basically. So her RQ1 and RE1 damage are both getting level 2 and 3 buff. So 10 at 1, 10 at 2, and then 20 at 3. The mark and root damage getting a 20 at 2, and then what is that, 40 at 3. And then the RW damage is 15 at 2 and 30 at 3. I mean, realistically, I guess all this does is make sure that she doesn't fall off super hard in the late game,
Yeah,
where she can
but
still
like,
have some assassin potential. But I don't know if this really changes anything
yeah, I
about
mean,
her.
base damage in the late game is like who cares? Maybe
Yeah.
you'll miss one less kill now. Like if you're my buddy Marcus, he always says he's cursed because they live at 10 HP. This buff's for you, Marcus, and you're LeBlanc, bro. Now you're not gonna miss a kill when they're at 10 HP.
There you go. They were looking out for Marcus in this one.
Yeah.
Um, hey, I guess if you're friends with Shane got his Yumi buff last patch. Marcus gets his
Yep.
buff this patch, so
Riot
uh,
Games looking out
yeah,
for us.
looking out for him. Okay, this is
Yo,
one.
Olaf Jungle,
Yeah,
Atele.
this
Here
is
you
one that
go.
Ateli's
Yeah.
very excited for. So the monster bonus physical damage is up from level 2 onward. So you got 10 at level 2, 20 at level 3, 30 at level 4, all the way up to what is that, 60 at level 5.
That's pretty
Um,
good.
so
I mean, yeah.
go ahead, take the floor. This is what you were excited for.
Yeah.
I mean, I was excited to mostly experiment with it, but I think it is a first clear buff, depending on whether or not you level Q twice, which I think there's an argument for, just depending on the speeds. And I think like one of the reasons you wouldn't play Olaf is because he doesn't really keep up with a lot of other junglers, and like, I mean, that solves that issue, I think.
Yeah.
40 damage at level 9 is gonna make mid-game clears feel better. I wonder what his win rate looks like right now since we're already in the new patch.
Yeah, but it's like 11. I guess it's 11 a.m. for me on a Wednesday, so surely there's not that big of a sample yet.
Yeah. What I will say,
1000 games 50% win rate. Good enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
good
mean,
enough.
whatever. Yeah.
It'll probably fluctuate the more games that are played, but something I will say. So these later damage, bonus physical damage scalings. As a jungler, right? I feel like a lot of what you're able to accomplish is in the early game. Sure, if you start winning the game and are able to just to full clear their quads, then this will be really nice. But this doesn't really help with what I feel like Olaf struggles in, especially in solo queue, where if your lanes or your team is behind, all of a sudden you just can't farm your jungle safely. You can still look for those 1v1s, but if those don't develop, then his kit is pretty limited. So yeah, it feels nice. I think he'll definitely have a lot more pro play viability, but I don't know if this will really change things for him too much. We'll have to see. Um, you
I feel
calling
like
out
it's
you calling out the level
sorry.
2, so basically going 2 points in queue in your first clear, that might set him up for some more early game success. um Poppy coming out as well, getting a monster damage cap buff.
Oopster.
um I feel like Poppy's a
Same
champ.
shit, different champ.
Jungle.
Yeah, pretty much. Poppy's a champ that I feel is underutilized in the jungle, and maybe Riot also feels that way. So they're basically just giving her a placebo buff to some extent. Definitely helping with her early game clear. But really, when you're picking this champ, you're picking it into a specific comp the enemy team is presenting early on. Um, and so we'll have to see how this goes. So the monster camp damage is up at all levels. So you have uh 25 at level 1, pretty much all across the board. Yep, 25 all across the
Yeah.
board. So
Definitely better than the Olaf buffs.
yeah.
But that's because Poppy is actually like a very shit jungler right now,
Yeah.
or was, and Olaf was already somewhat viable. This like actually makes Poppy competitive as a pick, probably even in solo queue and especially in pro play.
I
Yeah.
like how they say like jungle's dominated exclusively by fighters. I'm telling y'all, Poppy is a fighter. There ain't no
Yeah.
unity she's a tank. So what are they talking
I
about? Let's
mean,
get a tanky option in there. I feel like
you go you go Sundered Sky into tank generally, I think, on
yeah,
Poppy.
Mhm.
Unless you're just him on the champion and go full lethality, that is an option.
man, I've seen that too. Yeah, that's disgusting stuff.
Hey, maybe if
My God.
you're locking Poppy top, now if you get a lead, you could just walk into the enemy jungle and start farming their champs or their
Yeah.
camps.
Yeah.
Kiana monster damage
Yeah, I
25%
mean,
on Q.
come on now. We know what's happening here. We're just buffing every jungler.
So this is a
They
BLG
want
China
Kanavi to
buff.
lock in Kiana.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
for the script. It's for the
it's for
script.
the
Okay, I
script. Yeah.
see.
So
And then people are gonna be on Twitter. Oh my God! Did you see this Kiana jungle game?
So
Like,
yeah, my theory
Yeah.
about this is BLG, since they won first stand, they are on the quest to fulfill the fabled golden road that nobody has been able to
mm,
do, and so this is definitely a LPL jungler buff, where they love Kiana over there. So we'll see. I mean, Kiana's a champ, similar in a similar vein to Lee Sin, where her early game can be very, very oppressive. But unless you accomplish what you need to early, mid to late, you start to kind of fall off unless you can find some crazy ults. So I don't know. I definitely feel like this will be more exciting. I feel like solo queue as a jungler is going to be really annoying if there's some good Kiana players that you're going against. But we'll have to see.
There's just much more impressive assassins than Kiana right now, so I'm not even worried about solo queue.
Yeah.
I'm more
Uh,
scared of
nice.
the Rangers and
Easily
the
one of my
Talons.
favorite champions. Oh wait, are they getting a nerf?
they're getting a
Oh
nerf.
Yeah,
no!
Yep.
bro.
Um,
Rek'Sai has been the highest win rate jungler since like May.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very deserved.
It's funny because dude, I remember the old days of Rek'Sai where you could get like multi-man knockups and you basically built her as a
Uh,
bruiser. But now she's kind of went into this assassin build like Atele was saying. So she's getting a nerf um about I mean pretty significant late game nerf. So you lose about 22 damage on max rank on E.
can you still
Um
do multi knockups, or am I crazy?
no, you can only do one now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You slow, I think. out the people around the initial knockup, but you can only get the one knockup now.
Okay.
And then you lose 4% of your bonus AD at all levels at E, and the bonus true damage is down 5%. So they didn't want to, from what I could tell, they didn't want to nerf for early game too much because that's kind of our identity, but they definitely went after her late game.
What I know Rek'Sai players do is they put 3 points into Q and then max E. I wonder if that'll change.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
We'll have to see. This is also a Rek'Sai top nerf. So we'll have, I mean,
I haven't seen Rek'Sai top in a while.
it's I feel like this is a specific MSI nerf because I don't feel like I feel like when you see Rek'Sai played in pro play, it's top lane. But everywhere else, it's a jungle meta, so you don't see it too much in jungle and pro play. So, I don't know. I feel like they killed two birds with one stone. They nerfed her solo queue success in the jungle, and then they nerfed her top prowess.
Yeah, fuck Rumble.
Yeah.
Get him out of here in the early game. I hate this champion.
Well, I mean, let's look at what they're actually doing here. So damage is down 10 at all levels, but then he gets a 5% AP. So really, I don't know. I don't really know if this does much.
I don't know.
200 AP to do the same damage, I'm pretty sure.
You said 200?
Yes.
I mean, hey, dude, I'll take that. Rumble is disgusting in the early lane with this poke damage. It just feels like there's nothing you could do sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like this whole just trying to target his ability to be blind picked is kind of weird. I don't know if this really does that.
I feel like you'd nerf.
I mean, it doesn't. It just makes him feel a bit less insane to play against, I think.
Yeah. I feel like, if you nerf his W or E, because that's the part of this kit that makes him so safe as a blind. You have your E slows and magic pen on that, and then your W shield. I don't know. Kind of a weird justification for the nerf.
Here we go.
The classic Senna cycle has returned once again. So Senna is basically getting killed out of being a marksman bot laner and instead moving to support. So the soul drop chance on Senna kills goes from 10% all the way down to 5%, which is basically you're not happening. It's not happening a lot. But soul drop chance on ally kills is getting buffed from 28% to 32%, which I feel like is pretty noticeable. And then her crit damage is getting nerfed by 5%, and then what is that? 10% overall, and then 2.5% with IE.
Here's the thing. Last patch, Senna bot had a 56.6% win rate.
Yeah.
Right now, on the current patch, Senna bot has a 53.3% win rate. This was not enough at all.
Yeah.
Might still be a little strong, but...
So what's interesting is I'm pretty sure they made it so that the Shiv synergy doesn't work anymore, and they don't say that here.
Still works to some extent, because the Shiv synergy, I think what it does, it makes the Q not reset as much cooldown because of the on hit to on attack change, but you can still farm Senna stacks with it.
With the Q,
I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. A 3% nerf so far on solo Q. I don't know. I feel like Senna's a champ that, because of the way her kit is utilized in pro play, it'll be a nightmare to balance because you don't do that in solo queue, right? So if you nerf farming Senna, then this support Senna but marksmen are playing her comes up, and then if you nerf that, then she's just unplayable. So she's just a champ that'll go through these changes until, I mean, realistically, I don't know if you guys agree. I feel like this is a champ that just needs a kit kind of redesign. Just because of her
kit, to be honest.
Oh, what?
I know it's a nightmare to balance, but it's a fun champion.
Yeah, I don't know. If you have a champ that is either just uber busted or unplayable and there's no in between, I feel like that's not healthy. But
It's always very specific interactions that make her busted. It's like the itemization around her, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
We move on to Scion getting nerfed. I'm sure Shane is happy about
Well-deserved.
that. Yeah.
Well-deserved nerfs.
The minimum damage. So I was listening to Baus talk about this. So the minimum damage is down at all levels, all the way to the. I mean, it's losing 30 at max level.
Yeah.
But this also nerfs his like in between min to max damage, because it'll take a longer time to actually hit max damage. So even though the max damage will stay the same, you typically aren't getting fully stacked or fully charged Qs off on Scion. You're kind of getting somewhere in between, which is also getting nerfed. And then his Soul Furnace, the mana is up at all levels by about 10.
Good change. Good
So
change.
definitely a champ that I feel like, you know, if you love Scion, you're still able to play him, but he's not going to feel as
100%.
good early or in blind situations in top lane.
Yeah, I think this is just gonna hurt him doing like his unrewarding trade pattern where you just like walk up to somebody and like you just like can't fully charge a Q, but you just tap it and then you just pop W on him and you're just like, haha, like get outplayed. So that's gonna hurt a
Yeah.
lot. So now you have to actually hit all your abilities to do a big combo. So
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Sion's dead. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty significant because yes, he'll still
It's
be this.
definitely a good nerf.
He'll still be the super
Yeah.
tank that you need for team fights or want for team fights when you're picking this champ, but his ability to lane is definitely hindered.
His identity is the same though, thankfully. So that's
Yeah.
good.
Vex getting a little bit of a buff. So she gets a longer reset time window on her ultimate upon takedown, which is kind of nice, just so you can hold that
Yeah,
ability and not
very
feel
good.
forced to use it. And then the cooldown on E is down 1 second. I feel like Vex is a champ that typically you're taking as a counter into stuff like Yasuo, Yone, Aurelia, things that have a lot of dashes. You can stack up your
You
passive.
want that E up.
Yeah. That the passive fear up as well. So I don't know. I don't think this is gonna make her more pro profile, but I know like a lot of teams in like tier 3 really love this champion, so maybe we'll see that more there. And then our last champ to cover is Zahen. So Zahen, I guess he's seeing more play across audiences, so they're just making his early game trading patterns a little bit more easier to pull off, where they buffed his cooldown on W by 2 seconds at level 1, while maintaining the max level the same. So I don't know. I feel like this is definitely just a buff to where you see him most often, top in jungle. In jungle, maybe a little bit of a, you know, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really move his jungle at all. It's just really just a top lane buff.
in the jungle, it slightly gives him a slightly more windows to trade in the top lane, and that's it.
Yeah.
I think it's very placebo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, on to items. We're flying through this.
Doran's Helm. Yes, bro.
Yep, Doran's
This
Helm
item.
is getting changed. So you're losing 2 base resistances for armor and magic, but you're also getting 10 health. I don't know. I don't really know about this one. They're saying it's a nerf, but they're keeping the base health high, so I don't know if really that 2 is felt. I don't know.
Well,
It's a math equation. How much effective HP do the champions get?
Yeah.
I don't want to do the math, but I will trust Riot when they say it's a nerf.
yeah.
But it doesn't look like a big nerf, that said.
Yeah. I think like at the very start of the game, like this will feel like fine because you're getting 10 more health, and health is just more impactful at the very start of the game.
Yeah.
But losing 2, I mean, you're losing 2 armor and magic to this. Like, it's not going to be the end of the world. I mean, I think the item is still good and it's still keeping its identity, so that's what they want.
So what's interesting is one of the biggest abusers of Doran's Helm was Senna bot lane.
Jack of all trades.
With Jack of all trades, it
It's
doesn't
actually.
really. What was that,
Yeah.
Atele?
I don't think it actually nerfs the things that Senna does with the item, though.
So it doesn't nerf Jote at all, right? Which is this is a great Jote item because it gives you 3 different stats.
I've never heard it called Jote.
Jote, jack of all
Yeah.
trades, Jote. Um,
Okay.
but so I don't know. I feel like the synergy with jack of all trades is particularly why this item is strong.
Still
Um,
there.
and it's still there. So we'll have to see. From what I can tell, from what Atele told us about win rates, it really hasn't done much. Imperial Mandate is getting a buff, which is very interesting because I feel like there's a lot of champions that can use this well, especially in pro play. Stuff
Yeah.
like Lysandra, Cassiopeia to a little bit of an extent, Galio, Nico, whatever. They're changing the build path so that it's slightly
20
cheaper,
ability
isn't
haste.
it? Yeah, 20 ability haste for immobilizing abilities. I don't want to do the entire math, but I'm pretty sure. So it's, what is this? 1750 plus 650 would
I can just
be,
type in my calculator real quick.
yeah, quick maths.
It's interesting because there were a lot of champions that like used the item that like not necessarily use the item, but that are theoretically good users of the item, but it looked very understated on them. Like even the champions you were talking about, like Lysandra, it's like you'd rather just go the other AP items at the moment.
It's the exact same cost.
Okay, same cost,
Yeah.
but a better build
Yeah.
path. You don't have to build
Yeah.
Blasting Wand anymore. You instead go 2 amp tomes.
Yeah.
So
If you're a
Better
support,
build
you're
path.
liking those changes.
what was that?
I just
Supports
said if
like
you're a
those?
support, you're
Yeah,
liking those changes.
yeah, for sure. The ability powder is down by 5, which is whatever. The ability haste, which was what Shane was kind of surprised about. So
Yeah.
5 ability haste for mobilizing abilities is actually quite a bit. And then they also buffed the vulnerable. So instead of 6% from all damage sources when Imperial Mandate is procced, it's now up to 7%. So there's been some solo queue, I guess, research by a lot of pro play fanatics. And I hate to break it to you, Shane, but Lysandra top is going to be meta, at least for this MSI, where they
It's
go
been, yeah.
they go the Deathfire Touch first item into, or not Deathfire Touch, sorry. What's the Leandry's item, but not Leandry's?
Blackfire Torch?
Blackfire Torch. Hey, it was close.
Blackfire Torch and a Mandate?
Into Mandate, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
That'll be something.
Just the sigh. You're just like, yeah.
Lysandra top is like, it's gonna be, it's a good top laner if it's strong. It counters like it counters Urgot really well, actually. Urgot's a great
It's
champion
basically
to
just
top
a
as
more
well.
oppressive marksman top, where you just get
Yeah.
everything about what you want as a marksman, plus a bunch of CC to make it so that these bruisers can't get on top of you.
Yeah, Lysandra's a great champion, so she will be definitely seen.
Yeah.
I don't know if honestly, having Lysandra top might be good because there's a lot of top laners that are really, really strong and have a lot of mobility, like Mbessa, Riven. I guess you could consider Jace a little bit, but I think Lysandra will do pretty all right into all those champions. So that might be actually pretty good for the state of top lane, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
So
If you're looking
more
at
counters.
supports, I really like Zillion support with Imperial Mandate. You get some Q cooldown, as well as that vulnerable for your teammates. Galio can be both. Nico can be both. Maybe we'll see some more Nico mid or top.
Pambi and Sam were talking, and they were telling
Zach.
me about like
It's Zach.
Xin Zhao mandate.
Oh,
Or
Xin Zhao
something.
Mandate's crazy.
Yeah, so
What,
it's
just
like
for
your Q
just
and
for
your
his
R.
ultimate? Oh,
Your
and his
Q and your
Q.
R, yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that was hilarious, but I mean he does do some AP, so that could be something. Yeah, that's really interesting. This change is interesting because I didn't even feel like Mandate landed softly at all.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like it landed really well. Actually.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's built on a lot of things. Its stats on those things don't look very good.
okay.
Yeah. So one jungler to note, and Clown has been all over me, trying to get me to let him play it. Which I mean, he can if he wants. Is Imperial Mandate Zac, where you go
Mm,
like Imperial Mandate into Zeke's, so 2 pretty cheap items, and then you go the Omnivamp AP item third, and you just get really good. It's a really good 3 item core for him. Where you get some ability haste on your E and your ultimate from Imperial Mandate. Your ult slows and knocks up with Zeke's, and then you just get a bunch of health and survivability in fights from what is
uh,
that? I can never remember the Omnivamp AP item.
I like with Riftmaker.
Riftmaker, yeah,
But with
Riftmaker.
the Zac specifically, I feel
does
like
sound
there's
pretty good.
just a lot of items that he feels so good to play with that we're not building here. Rocket Belt, Spirit Visage, like
Yeah, that's true. You
those
don't
are so
you lose
core
out
to
to
him, I
Spirit
think.
Visage, but I don't know. It's definitely an item or definitely a build path that I can see some viability.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess.
that'd be
we'll have to
interesting.
see. So I don't know if they've updated this. Okay, yes, they did. So the last set of indicators they were announced on Twitter for being rolled out into ranked, and people
Yeah.
freaked out. Just were I
So fake though.
it's such a
Yeah, it
nothing
doesn't
burger.
matter.
It
Yeah.
doesn't. So I was talking to Clown about this because he let me know like, oh yeah, people are freaking out. I'm like, realistically, what does this change for anybody? You either
Nothing.
know when to last it or you see a visual indicator, but regardless, you're doing the same thing in both instances, right? You either know
Hmm.
intuitively or you can see. And the thing I'll say about it is if you're uber reliant on the indicator, I would argue that your laning would be worse because you're so focused on looking at minion health bars that
Yeah.
you're not positioning correctly. You're not looking for effective trades. So I sure maybe some people will have better CS numbers across the board, but I feel like if your struggle is laning, this wouldn't fix it for you.
Yeah.
Hmm. Um, I'm very involved with like just teaching and learning in my life, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like with my occupation, my education, all the fun stuff. My hobbies, I coach.
Yep.
So the thing is, I think this would just be a net positive change to the game. Like,
Yes.
even though it's already in Swift Play, it's already in AI, and already in normal draft, I think that a lot of the learning experience in this game comes from ranked. Like if you play normal, you play Swift play AI, yeah, you can learn things, but you don't actually I don't think you improve unless you're playing ranked solo queue. And if you're a new player hopping into rank for the first time, having these last hit indicators is going to be extremely beneficial to you. And like Rice just said, these are completely irrelevant to people who already know how to last hit. So
Mm-hmm.
this does literally nothing. So the fact that people want to complain about this, this is 100% a positive change. I literally can't even think about anything negative with this change at all. And the fact that people are complaining about this just goes to show you how much of a baby community
That's
competitive
true.
games and League of Legends in general is.
S-
It's actually
Sure.
embarrassing to me that people think about this in a negative way.
So
So
my
that's my two
my
cents.
my
But
go ahead, Atele.
I just want to say, beautifully said. I agree with everything Shane said. Yeah,
So
it's like
yeah, I agree. My analogy is this. Okay, so in history,
Hmm.
right, we started from a pretty rough idea of what civilizations look like to now. And part
Uh-huh.
of that change was you see improvements to medication and vaccines and stuff. So here's what is this is evoking to me. People are like,
I already know what
"Hey,
you're gonna say. Go ahead.
well, this is what." So it's kind of funny. It's basically like people that grew up having to potentially contract and live with like polio, for example,
Yeah.
to we have this vaccine that will cure the disease. We no longer have to live with this disease. And people that had to live with polio go, well, that's not fair to me. Everybody should have to go and have that risk living with polio. Like, what are we doing? It's just an improvement
Oh my
across the
god.
board. Like, I just League of Legends, the player base is aging, right? And if we want the game to continue in a healthy spot, we need new players. And I don't know why we're gatekeeping players away from playing our game. Like, it's such a weird phenomena where this will be nothing but an improvement. Everybody can see that is thinking critically, but for whatever reason, we want everybody to live in the dark ages and
Does
suffer.
anybody know what is the real complaint for them not wanting it? Does anybody actually
It's
know?
literally that. It's I didn't get the last hit indicators when I was playing the game, so everybody should have to learn them like I did.
Okay.
Too easy, they say, because the only laning skill they know is HP thresholds for last hits.
Oh my
Like,
god.
it's just insane to me that this anyways, they bullied it out of ranked basically, which to Shane's point, if you really want to improve at the game, you have to play ranked. If you're like learning a new kit or whatever, sure, take it into norms before running it into ranked, but realistically, you're not going to be as punished as hard or know your thresholds as well than when you're playing in ranked, because that's when everyone is really trying, right? I feel like
100%.
normal lobbies is where everybody's either going to have fun or trying things out, and so you don't get an actual indicator of really what's going on. So I don't know. This should be in ranked. I feel like we should continue to make improvements to let new players come in. Like the WASD was a good start.
Yeah, that is a good start.
There's all this many things that we could do, but I don't know. It was a crazy argument that people lost their minds.
Yeah.
A bunch of ARAM changes. I'm pretty sure we just want to look at the skins. Well, hold on. Bug fixes and quality of life. Oh, okay. There's a couple things. Ranked 5s are back on the weekends.
Yes. Get your stat going, boys. It's time.
Yep. Gets your stat going. I think it'll be fun. Hopefully it stays.
Hold on. I didn't know they were doing tournament draft. That's
Yep.
interesting.
So just
wow.
like
this is like legit. This is like real shit. I didn't know it was gonna be like this.
Yep. And you can play with anybody. So you can. I mean, they'll try to match you as best they can with the overall skill level, but
that's peak.
You can play with your iron friends if you're diamond, and just have a good time. Reporting direct messages is also here, so that's a nice quality of life thing where people add you and throw you slurs. So you can report them. I haven't been a big fan of this just because
I didn't care.
Yeah, the Discord integration. All I did was clog up my friends list with a bunch of Discord icons. So I don't know what they're trying to do there, but hey, they're trying stuff out, which is cool.
Yeah, that's
fine. And now the bug fixes and quality of life changes. Fixed a bug where Baron Nashor's max stacks avoid corruption was higher than intended. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Baron nerfs.
Fixed a bug where Serpent's Fang shield reaver damage applied to Omnivamp. Or applied Omnivamp.
Very interesting. Holy crap.
That's
a big Serpent's Fang nerf.
Yeah.
You gotta check these bug fixes, y'all, I'm telling you.
Fixed a bug where Diana's visual effects for ultimate may not play properly around different areas of the map. Okay. You just don't see it if she's standing on like a specific pistol.
Maybe it's like clipped, like, you know, like in elevation. Like maybe it's like
why do they have that? Nobody's explained to me why they have elevation in this game.
I don't know.
Other than to make you miss your skill shots.
Immersion, yeah, I don't know.
And then you got a couple skins coming out. So High Noon Lock is going to be the skin upon release.
Who is that?
Noon,
well, that's Aurora.
Yep. So we have Aurora in the front. Shen in the back.
That's Shen? Okay.
Yep. And then the Jin skin is actually pretty cool from what I've seen. Some pretty cool visual effects.
I like the Shen skin actually. He looks really sick.
Yeah.
It just looks like an Oathbreaker Paladin, which is I think what they're going for.
Aurora's little I think they're the bunnies that is in her base skin are kind of funny to me.
Oh yeah, they look kind of goofy, yeah. I didn't even she has bunnies in her skin. I didn't even know that.
I
never like play Aurora.
I think it's like little like spirits, I think, is her whole thing.
Spirits.
But anyways. Well,
High noon action.
Kept it under an hour. It was pretty big in terms of amount of champions being adjusted. I'm more along the LS vein where I feel like a lot of these are like just placebo buffs or nerfs.
Yeah.
But we did find some pretty cool things. I think realistically the biggest changes is probably the Imperial Mandate one. I feel like that one's huge.
That's interesting.
in terms of its potential play power. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, a couple. Scion was also a pretty big nerf. I will say that.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's it for me. Atele, Shane, you got anything before we let these fine people go?
I tell you, do you got anything? I guess not.
Guess not.
All right. I don't know if he's trying to talk, but his mic's not working, but whatever. So I have one thing, which is that so tournament draft 5 stacks. So rank flex now is 5 stacks. So I was just talking about this with Sam the other day, but amateur League of Legends, like Forge Esports, Blue Water, whatever your T is, it's not really well known among the population like of League of Legends. Like if you are a casual player, you are not aware of like amateur like
Rec leagues,
teams,
basically.
right? Yeah. So I think that now that this is in the game, this will give people kind of a taste of what it could be like to do official drafting and to play like in a tournament draft and to like. Now you don't get best of threes obviously if you're in a flex game, but you have to play you have to play with the 5 stack, right? Did I understand that
Yeah,
correctly?
you have
Like
to
you have
play
to play
as
the 5 stack.
5. Mm-hmm.
So you have to play as 5. I think this will drastically improve the competitive aspect of the game because honestly, if you are a casual player, you are not queuing up like 100 ranked games in a season. You're just not going to do that. You're never going to do that. And flex before felt so like washy, like it felt kind of fake.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you have to play as a stack, and I think they said like the LP gains are like going to be doubled or tripled or something than what they are. So there's like actual weight writing on each win and loss. So I think this will be a really nice improvement. I think that's going to be a huge thing for the game, and I think that's going to potentially even buff the amateur esports scene. Which I guess what are we? Are we tier 3 tournaments? Is that
Tier
what we are?
3, yeah. So
Tier 3. So
tier 2 is like your NACL and
yeah.
stuff, but
So Riot doesn't like to recognize tier 3 tournaments as existing in general.
yeah.
So I think this will definitely bring some more people into that fold. So I'm really excited for that because
Yeah.
I've been with the scene a long time and I do want it to grow. So I would love to see if that ended up bringing more people into that. So I just wanted to kind of put my 2 cents out there. Grab your stack, hop into Rank Flex, and try your heart out.
Yeah, and
So
to piggyback off what Shane's saying, if you are interested in like rec leagues for League of Legends, you're like beer leagues for like hockey or baseball that you see for traditional sports, go ahead and join the Forge Discord, and we can set you in the right direction. There's plenty. I mean, there are more tier 3 tournaments and leagues out there than I probably know. I'm aware of some really popular ones, but they're popping up all the time. People like having fun playing the game, getting that competitive aspect that you don't get when you're playing by yourself in solo queue. So if that interests you, definitely join the Discord, and we can get you in the right direction there.
100%.
It's super fun. We'll see you around. We'll be coaching you. I know Shane and I we play, and Atele play in some higher elo ones. So hey, maybe we'll see you in our games. But I think that's it for all of us. Atele, I don't know. Are you back? Did you fix your mic? All right. He's just dipped. He's like, my job here is done. We did patch notes. So we'll call it there. You'll have a great rest of your morning, evening, or night, depending on when you're watching this. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for the next patch notes. Until then, take care. Goodbye.